And welcome back to the Blue Review. It is a happy Tuesday, a great Tuesday, because our boy Teo, a big W.
Let's go, Teo.
Round of applause to
Yeah.
Teoscar Hernandez, who takes down Bobby Witt Jr. in the home run derby. So we're gonna react to that. It's just good vibes all around because when Teo's smiling, the whole city smiles. He's got that effect.
Plus, look, the Dodgers are guaranteed at least one championship this year. It's locked in.
Hey, we got one. We got one.
Yep.
Don't give me Lakers flashbacks with the IST. This I feel.
Hey, actually, we're done. It was not a championship. We're not going with the championship. No banners are being raised.
Thank you. Yeah, no banners here. Just Teoscar with the chain and the trophy. But it was super exciting, and I'm kind of excited myself to just react to it, talk about the new format, and maybe just kind of preview what this All-Star game might look like today a little bit, if we even care. Because the home run derby, I felt that there was some excitement to it. There was some levels of like, I'm interested, but I don't know how I feel about the All-Star game outside of Paul Skeens. We'll get into that a little bit. But first off, Greg, Marcus, how we doing, Greg? I mean, it's a happy Tuesday. How are we feeling?
Happy Tuesday. Feeling good. Feeling great. How about you?
I'm really good. College Football 25 came out. I was up way too late recruiting players and playing Dynasty mode. It's probably going to be a rough week in terms of sleep for me. And
so wait, now who are you using? What school are you trying to lead to the promised land?
UCLA, right? That's what I figured. UCLA.
Okay, so I'm not okay. This is the Blue Review, but I got to admit it. I went with East Carolina University.
The Pirates.
It's going to be because it's Mike Trout's alma mater.
Wait, is it?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think I knew that, actually.
I did not know that either, but it's a very angel-y thing for you to do.
I know. But listen, I've already tweaked the conferences. I put East Carolina in the Big 12. I needed some pedigree. I needed some conference pedigree so that recruits would actually come to the school. It's exciting. I mean, I'm a little too into it already. I'm sure that a lot of us young guys back here at the station are going to be playing each other and stuff, so it's fun.
Yeah, nice.
But hey, real quick, I want to remind everyone that we're here at the Blue Review because of LAX, and our friends at LAX, the Los Angeles International Airport, are changing the travel experience, reducing traffic, saving guests time. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check it out at flylax.com/transforminglax. And speaking of flying, speaking of just high in the air, bombs, Teoscar Hernandez, Marcus, just your initial reactions to just the night overall in itself.
I mean, it was fun, right? And I think the tweaks on the format have done a lot for it. I mean, I go back to, I think I mentioned this on the show, right? Like when this thing first started and the winner was hitting like 4 or 5 home runs, right? Like it was a novel thing at the time, but obviously you need something to jazz it up, to excite it. So I think the new format really has done a lot for it. And look, I would say this, because we talked about this yesterday, Parker. I figured Teo would put on a nice little show. I thought he could get out of the first round. I honestly didn't think that he would win it. I said yesterday, this is Pete Alonso's to lose, because it always feels like Pete Alonso's to lose. But like he just found a groove. He found a rhythm. And I was, shout out to Dino Ebel, because it's always, I think the pitcher always deserves some love, because he's the one delivering the ball and setting up for the guy to hit those home runs. So shout out to Dino Ebel for, he deserves as much of this as Teo does.
He absolutely does. Dino was fantastic, throwing him exactly where he needed. But I really just enjoyed watching it. It was fun. The home run derby seemed fun again. Now, I don't know whether it was because Teoscar was in it and I was really excited watching Teoscar, or if it was just the format, how it all worked. But it was enjoyable. And Teoscar, he snuck into the second round, he snuck into the third round, he snuck into he just continued to sneak in, and and the way that he won too was crazy exciting. With it, when Bobby Witt Jr. hit it off the wall to end it, it was exceedingly exciting. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I genuinely thought it was Bobby's to lose. Once guys like Pete Alonso and Gunnar had rough rounds, I was like looking at Bobby Witt's swing. I think I was texting Travis Rogers last night just saying, holy crap, I knew he had it in him, but I got to be honest, I don't watch a lot of Royals games, and seeing his swing live was ridiculous. And then just power, like you said, Greg, to see Teoscar sneaking and then sneaking again, I was like, oh my God, he might do it. And then he gets the advice from Shohei You see Vladdy Jr. huddling around with the Dodgers. I just thought it was a really cool, and I mean, honestly, it was just like a party almost,
Yeah.
especially when you have the Dominican. You got the little vibes going on over there. I think it was really fun.
And I think the home run derby, at least last night, is sort of what the slam dunk contest once was. Like the slam
Oof,
dunk contest has
yes.
sort of lost a lot of its luster. I think partially because we've seen everything that can sort of be done on a basketball court. But it was fun because you had the young guys out there, right? So like if you hadn't had a chance to see Gunnar Henderson or Bobby Witt Jr., this was like a little bit of a showcase to see those guys. You had the hometown guy, Anadolis Garcia, who, that dude can mash, man. When he gets on a roll, he can absolutely mash. So you had that hometown sort of, excitement there. And then you have Teo, who, obviously he plays for a big team, a big club, but he's not one of the main stars there. To kind of have him be kind of the underdog story, I think it really just had a little bit of everything. I know you can't script it like that every year, but it was a really cool event, and it turned out. I mean, turned out a lot of fun. It turned out especially fun for Dodger fans.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
totally did. I just wondered that if like, are they going to change it? It was an exciting format. They fixed it, and they fixed it the right way. I didn't think they really needed to fix too much in general, but they did. They tweaked everything, and now they did it this way. Are they going to tweak it again next year? They're going to find some way to
I
tweak
hope
it.
not. Let's let
Leave
this
it.
stand. Yeah, let's let this
Yeah, keep
marinate
it.
for a few years before we figure out if we need to tweak it again.
Yeah,
Keep
and
it.
also, good.
I was just gonna say, keep it. Get the judges of the world. Get the guys who haven't really done it before, and you might have a little more ratings go up and up, especially after seeing how it went this year.
Yeah, no, it went really well. Now, the only thing I saw a little bit of this on Twitter, and it was noticeable for me, but not. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but maybe it was because of who Teoscar is. I didn't think it was a big deal, but there wasn't a lot of fans teammates besides Glasnow. Glasnow was there and like hanging out with him the entire time, giving him water, doing all that stuff. But you didn't see anybody else there. Did you find that weird at all?
I don't know. I don't read into stuff like that. Maybe I'm weird because I don't look at stuff like that and think one thing or another about it. Like I would think, especially if you're Shohei, you're probably just getting mobbed by people. I'm sure you just want, if you have a
Mhm.
chance to duck away and get some peace and quiet, you probably sort of want that. So I don't know. I guess that's for other people to sort of infer about. That's not gonna be for me.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
again, I don't think it's anything. And Parker, you can answer in a second. I don't think it's anything because of who Teoscar is, because he's the dude throwing sunflower seeds.
Right.
He's the guy in the dugout that is constantly keeping everybody up and having a lot of fun. So I don't think it was anything. But it just I saw a lot of it on Twitter. People like, oh, why weren't any of his teammates? So I didn't know if you
Yeah.
guys thought.
No,
What do you think,
whatever.
Parker?
No, I'm right there with Marcus, and I mean, Freddie's got Charlie, he's got the young ones. Like,
Sure.
I'm sure it's just more of a, Teoscar, you got your family there. He's got the whole family. That was really cool to see them celebrating afterwards. I know that Glass now. He's more of just not a bachelor. He's obviously got a girlfriend, but he can stay out a little later. So he's also got that strict.
Well, and Glasnow's not actually playing tomorrow, so he's just kind of there to
Exactly.
hang
Yeah.
out this week, really.
Yeah. No, but just to see, Greg, I mean, both of you guys following the Dodgers for so long, knowing that 10 different Dodgers have competed in the home run derby, like I think it's a total of 13 times, and none have done it until Teoscar. I mean, what does that mean? Is that something that's really significant, or is this just kind of like, it's cool, but there'll be more in the future? I don't know.
I mean, there may or may not be more in the future. I think it's cool because it is a Dodger that did it. And it was also the guy that came here towards the end. That was like he kind of came on. He came on a 1-year deal and for a lower amount of money, deferred some of that money, and just so he could be here. And he's talked about how much he loves LA and he loves being a Dodger and he wants to be here. I think that part of it is cool, and the fact that he is the first Dodger to do that, I really like. But I mean, watching Dodgers in the past, they all sucked. Like
Right.
put it straight out exactly how it is. Like dudes hit 0 multiple times. I think Matt Kemp hit like 1.
Yeah.
Like there was all these guys went out there and they just were terrible. And Teoscar wins the whole thing. It was really nice to see, but I don't think it like means one thing or the other for the Dodgers. The fact that he's the first Dodger was just cool to me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like it's a cool little footnote. I'm glad it happened. It's fun. I mean, honestly, I don't think until the reports started coming out. Like one, I don't think I realized that he was the first Dodger to win it. I don't think I realized how many Dodgers are like. It's a thing that like it flies away from me every single year, right? Like, okay, Pete Alonso won. I mean, I think I'd said he'd won 2 years in a row. Like, I don't remember. So like, it's like, you know, it's a fun little footnote. I'm not, you know, hanging like, hey man, the Dodgers have one home run derby championship.
Yeah.
It's not
right.
like I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I will add though, I think just based off of my feeling from last night, if you were to read into it a little bit as a Dodger fan, I would be incredibly optimistic just based off the fact that some of the things you said, Greg, he's came in on a 1 year kind of last minute. He asked to be in this home run derby. He's coming into this all-star break in just honestly this whole season with like a chip on his shoulder. Like, I want to be a Dodger. I want to be here for a long time and I want to win with the Dodgers. I think seeing that is super exciting going into, let's say, like the playoffs, because I mean, you have a guy in that fifth or sixth spot who's going to carry and potentially come up in clutch moments like he just did last night.
Yeah. So I think what's interesting too, Marcus, is that, you know, there's two different type of people. They're obviously on different levels. There's Juan Soto who's on the 1 year deal with New York, and then he's a free agent. He's talking about how I'm going to go out and be a free agent, and I'm going to go. And then he was talking about he always wanted to play with Shohei and trying to create controversy that way. And then you have a guy like Teo who's also on it. He's like, nah, I want to be here. I want to be in Los Angeles. I love it here. I'm having so much fun. I've said it before on past broadcasts with you guys that he's my favorite Dodger right now. Teoscar is absolutely my favorite guy right now. I don't know what it's just he just exudes so much joy in the game that he's my favorite. So like I just like the way he's going about it. Like, I want to be here. Yeah. I think that's important.
No, I think that's very important. And you're right. Parker, for a guy who kind of came on a little bit late, and I won't say he was a reclamation project because, you know, I think you knew he could hit, but you weren't really sure what his role was going to be and where he was going to fit every day. And for him to be really an anchor in this lineup, you know, when you had Freddie going through his little slump and you know, Mookie getting hurt and Shohei going through occasional slumps, for Teo to sort of be that constant regularly has been that. And I think you mentioned it, the joy. I think it's the combination of those things. It's one thing to sort of be a jokester and to kind of be the happy-go-lucky guy, but when you're mixing that with on-field production as well, it really does sort of help everybody gravitate towards you. And that was the thing I said with Parker yesterday. I think it gives him a little bit more cachet, especially when they get to those tough games in September and October, to kind of be one of those guys. Like, you know, the guys at the top of the order are going to be sort of the on-field leaders, but that guy in the clubhouse who sort of keeps the energy going when things get bad. If you have a bad inning or a bad game, that guy who kind of keep the life going. And I think that's what Teo Hernandez really is for this club right now.
He certainly has been. I mean, from one Hernandez to another, except one is performing this year. But
yeah, you know, come around. I'm trying to believe. I'm trying to believe in Kike.
You can keep believing all you want.
Don't stop. You know.
not to take shots, but of course, you know, that's just what happens at this moment in the season. So looking at like the starters for this year, I know we're going to be seeing Shohei starting at DH, but how much of like Freddie, Will Smith do you think we're going to see, Greg?
I mean, you're going to see, everybody's going to be seen. Freddie's going to be seen. Will Smith's going to be seen. Everybody's going to get out there. I mean, obviously Glasnow's not because he's, you know, on the IL. But the fact is, like, these guys are, what I really love is, to go back to Teo, he's starting in center field. Yeah. I mean, that just shows you that it's also an all-star game. They're just like, okay, yeah, we're going to have you just be center field. You'll be fine. You can play the outfield. Center field, fine. No big deal. So I love that he is starting in center. But you're probably going to see Teo going through the first 3 innings or however long to get to him, so he at least gets one at bat. He'll be until he at least gets one, then they'll probably take him out. And it's same with Freddie. He'll get in there, get 1 or 2 at bats. Will Smith will get 1 or 2 at bats. Everybody will get out there.
I mean, the All-Star game is it's like one step short of, you know, those last games in Little League where the coach lets the players sort of figure out the lineup. I mean, it's sort of that almost. I mean, so like, yeah, you'll see everybody get in at bat, get an inning or 2. I mean, I always say this, like usually the person who's the MVP, it's usually a guy who gets like 1 at bat. You just happen to you come up with a big hit in a key situation, or you're the pitcher that comes out of the bullpen and you put out the fire in a tough situation, you know, because you're never going to see somebody who's like, oh yeah, this guy went, you know, 2 for 4 in an all-star game. Like nobody's going to get that many. Nobody's going to get that many at bats.
No,
not to do something like that.
Elias Diaz, baby. Actually, speaking of East Carolina University, I'm pretty sure this today marks like the 10-year of Mike Trout's first All-Star MVP, but not that it matters. Not that it matters.
Well, the All-Star MVP doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I was just saying,
Elias Diaz last year.
that's a thing that's just like, that's another thing that I couldn't tell you who won MVP from year to year.
Absolutely no.
In the All-Star
you
game.
have to be the Sarah Langses of the world, because that is an impressive stat to know.
So,
Nobody cares.
But also, Parker, you have to understand what you just said. You, as an Angel fan, at times you're a Dodger and Angel fan. As an Angel fan, you are now doing 10 years since Mike Trout won an All-Star MVP, because
Right.
that's all you have. Like, just think about that for a second. That's the 10-year anniversary of an All-Star MVP, because the Angels have nothing.
Yeah, we got a home run derby champ in there somewhere too. Big Daddy Vladdy somewhere. Oh goodness. But yeah, the All-Star game in general, guys. I mean, I think the way that we're kind of talking about it today, the way that we're approaching it, it's just something that, hey, it'll be fun to see some of our players out there. It's cool to see those pictures in Arlington beforehand with all the cowboy hats. Shohei on the bowl, mechanical bull, asking why isn't it going? But really, outside of that, I think I agree with you guys. It's one of those things where it's not as important. But this home run derby, it's kind of been the theme of this episode. The home run derby was really cool, and I hope they continue to keep it up like this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's one of those things that has sort of improved over time. I talked about the home run or the slam dunk contest and how it really has just deteriorated. But the home run derby, I think they've figured out how to sort of make it more exciting, more interesting. I mean, there have been a couple of years where it kind of fell flat, but I think on the whole, I think they've done a good job tweaking all the tweaks to the game that Major League Baseball has made. Some of them have hit, some of them haven't, but I think the home run derby is one that they've gotten right.
Yeah, it's 100% right, and it's doing very well. Everything that is All-Star games, it's just in general in every sport for the most part, nothing works. But they've actually made the home run derby actually work so far, because it is exciting. It is exciting seeing these jacks, these bombs hearing the crack of the bat. And it was this one, how it ended, how it went through the whole time. It was exciting. Now you're not going to get that every year. And it may not be exciting next year. Somebody may get 40 home runs and the winner
Right.
gets like 10, and you're like, okay, well, that was anticlimactic. But this one was very climactic.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think some of it, sometimes it works because you have ones like this that are super competitive. And I mean, here it is, Bobby Witt with just missing a chance to tie it there late, maybe win it. So you had that, but then you do get those ones where one guy just puts on a phenomenal round, where it's one guy hits like 30 bombs, it feels like, in one round or something like
Josh
that. And
Hamilton.
it's just like, yeah, something like that, where it's just like, okay, maybe over the course of the contest, because usually you do that in one round, you're going to get tired, you're probably going to flame out. But just those amazing individual performances. This is one where you got like a great sort of group performance and it ended up being super competitive. But I think there's always something that's kind of noteworthy generally in the home run derby.
So go ahead.
I wasn't going to do this, Greg. I think maybe you were going to.
I think we're on the same page here. Edward Vento. Yeah,
yes.
I think this is something that we have to talk about. Unfortunately, we probably would be nice not to do it, but what are you gonna do?
Go right ahead, Greg. Yeah, it's all you, man.
So Edward Vento put in the chat, what did you guys think of the anthem?
Yes.
Do you want to take that one first, Marcus?
Not great, Bob.
I'll go off of that.
Not great, Bob.
I don't want to say anything bad about someone, and that.
Yeah, look, it was rough. I guess she was probably nervous. It's a hard song to sing. Like at this point, I don't really want to pile on her. I'll say this: better than Carl Lewis. So
hey,
that was really bad. I think the happiest person watching that was Fergie, though. After Fergie's like, great, I'm done. It's all on you now. You're the one.
Believe, because I wasn't there. I wasn't at home for that part of it, but I got multiple text messages about it. And, I may or may not have sent a gif of Draymond Green, laughing, trying to stifle a laugh at the All-Star game. So, yeah.
The only thing is, though, for Fergie, if we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this discourse. Unfortunately for her, the cultural impact, it was slightly different because she's obviously much bigger. She's more well-known. And it's no offense to this Ingrid Andress, but I think the joke is that, that feels rude to say, but the joke was that they labeled her as a 4-time Grammy Award winner, and then you get that. But the Fergie
Yeah.
one, the cultural impact, you had the remixes, the Suede, the remix god,
Right.
you had the Warriors dancing in the locker
On the
room
Yeah.
locker
to it.
room. Yeah.
Yeah. This one, I think, fortunately for Ingrid, is just going to kind of pass, and then maybe it'll get brought up every now and then as one of the worst renditions. But like you said, Marcus, you always have Carl Lewis.
Yeah.
Always have Carl Lewis. That might be the pinnacle of bad
Yeah.
when it
God,
comes to.
it-
I mean, he
and
stopped halfway through to say, "Uh-oh," like he knew it was bad.
it's just that one thing. Just
Uh-oh.
God, on sports radio, we played it all the time. It's just and it just happened. Like that was it for like the next
It is
year.
a sports radio staple, like just that
Yes.
little drop right there for sure.
You play that and everyone's like, oh, I know what that is.
I know where that comes from.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to, so I just saw this tweet come up. For what it's worth, Tom Verducci says the Orioles and Dodgers have Tariq Skubal at the top of their shopping list and are interested in putting together packages loaded with top prospects. Skubal under control through 2026,
Really?
and a top 3 pitcher in Major League Baseball. Yeah, the tweet is from Dylan Atkinson, but he is quoting an article written by Tom Verducci. So
Tariq Skubal would be an excellent addition. I just think he's going to be very, very expensive. If the Dodgers do that, if Andrew Friedman and Brandon Gomes go out and get Tariq Skubal, you know how all in they are because he's not going to be cheap.
right. And I think that's sort of the thing. And I think that's where the Dodgers and Orioles are probably the top 2 contenders because they both have enough prospects to make it interesting, and there's no guarantee the Tigers do it. They may just decide they're going to hold on, and just try to build around Skubal. But for now, if there's 2 teams that could really go out and truly make a run, those are the 2 teams that have the assets to do it.
I mean, I love that he's a power lefty. He strikes a bunch of dudes out. Like he's just a guy that would really, really fit into the. He's arbitration eligible next year. He's a free agent in 2027, so he's got time for him there. Like you don't get him for just 1 year. He's a long-term thing. It adds to this lineup or this rotation for a long period of time. It would be fantastic. I just thought that it wasn't even doable. So if they can go out and get him, that would be a huge get by Friedman and Gomes.
Yeah, huge. I think might be an understatement. I mean, he's a healthy pitcher too. He generally stays away from the IL as compared to most Dodgers pitchers. So that would be a massive get.
So just looking at his stats too, I mean, over the since 2020 when he started pitching, he had a 5.63 ERA, then it was a 4.34, then a 3.52, then a 2.8, and he's a 2.4 this year. He's getting better, and I love seeing that, and especially for a guy that's still pretty young too. Yeah, that it's huge. If they should do what they can to get him because he's young and controllable. If you're going to make a move for somebody that's young, controllable, you should move some of these prospects, but it's going to take some of the big prospects. I mean, you might see some of the names that you would not be like the Josue DePaula is somebody that a lot of guys go out after. That they don't want to touch. He's an outfielder. You might see Dalton Rushing or Diego Cartaya in those kinds of deals. So those types of names are probably going to be thrown around. And I think Parker, you've been talking to Bruce Kuntz to come on again.
That's right. So a lot of these prospects who we're hearing whose names are floating around in trade rumors, we will talk about those later this week with Bruce Kuntz, who you saw on this show earlier, about a month ago at this point. Of course, with, slipping my mind of where he writes with, I believe it's Dodgers Digest. I'll confirm that. But yes, he'll be on later to talk about some of those prospects and maybe who the Dodgers will either pull up or who they'll be sending and shipping off. So, and about some of the rookies as well. So it's going to be exciting. Greg, though, we're coming to an end here, and I know I've been dragging because I was playing college football all night, so I'll let you go ahead and close us out. But shout out to LAX on my end. Just want to say thank you for always helping us out here at the Blue Review.
Yeah, thanks to LAX. Thanks to Marcus and Parker, as always. Parker, you were great after we talked about you being dragging a little bit. But either way, Marcus today is going to be on Mason in Ireland with Mason in for Ireland. So we're going to see you again in just a couple of hours. But thank you both for being. I'm going to be out the next 2 days. I'm going to go to Vegas with a buddy of mine for his birthday. So I get a couple days off, but I'll be back on Friday. Marcus and Parker will hold it down for the next 2 days. And we'll see you guys next time every day, 9:30 and 9:55 on the ESPN YouTube channel. See you.